Hey y'all, Dawn with 7 Acres Homestead here. One of the things I talked to you on my last video where I did all the Thanksgiving leftovers, I took mashed potatoes and I diced up my honey glazed ham, dumped some of that in there, dumped some shredded cheddar cheese in there, and I took that back out today so that I could make potato pancakes for dinner. So that is what we're doing today. So this is my mashed potatoes, and as you can see, I dumped the chopped ham in here. I dumped some cheddar cheese. I cooked some onions and bell pepper and garlic in some olive oil just to kind of soften it up a little bit. I've also added salt, pepper, and granulated garlic into this as well. And I'm going to go ahead and just start mixing this together real quick. Now these came directly out of the refrigerator. Oops, I'm making a mess. So they are kind of hard at the moment, but that's okay. We're going to kind of just get these mixed together good. I just want to kind of make sure that all the potatoes have some of everything mixed in it before I go on to the next step. Because I don't want any big blobs of potato in there without cheese and ham and all that good stuff in there. We make sure it all has spices mixed in and that all of the salt and pepper and granulated garlic and all that stuff gets mixed in too. Okay, so I think I have this in here pretty good. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm putting about 3 eggs in here. These are eggs fresh out of my coop. Go ahead and scramble these up pretty good in this bowl. And you know, back in the Great Depression, in the World War II era, they used to make these potato pancakes. And they would do it for the same reason that I'm doing it now. They would have little bits and pieces of meat or vegetables or cheese or, you know, just little bits and pieces of whatever that weren't enough for a whole meal. So what they would do is they would take leftover mashed potatoes like this, and they would cut up all their little pieces of meat and vegetables and whatever else they wanted to put in there. And they would mix it all together, throw some egg in, and they would make these potato pancakes. Back in the World War II era, they used to call this bubble and squeak. What a silly name, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pour this egg in here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is putting, I'm just kind of eyeballing it, maybe 1/4 of a cup of flour in here. And that kind of gives it a little bit of cohesion. And I'm going to go ahead and mix together the flour and the eggs and the potato mixture really well. So the eggs and the flour are going to kind of get all of this to where it'll hold together. I'm going to start making the pancakes out of it. Now there's a couple different ways that you can cook this. And I have in the past done it where I made my potato pancake into a little flat disc. And then I dipped the outside of it in the flour and I fried it in a skillet. Which you can do. You can fry it in butter, you can fry it in olive oil. avocado oil, coconut oil, any of those oils that are not bad for us. You can use whatever kind of oil you want, but I prefer to not use the bad for us oils. And then be done. Today, I'm going to do a little bit different method. Today, I'm going to form them into my pancakes. And I have this cookie sheet that I have drizzled with olive oil, which I really like to fry stuff in the oven with olive oil because it tends to make a nice crispy crust. And then I'm going to pop these in the oven at a pretty high temperature and let them kind of fry up, and then I'm going to flip them over and I'm going to fry the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and make all those pancakes now and get them in the oven. So I actually ended up with 2 pans of these, and all I'm doing is I'm just putting a little bit of olive oil on the top of each one. I'm just kind of smearing it around, and that way we'll get a nice crispy crust on the top and the bottom, and maybe I won't have to flip them over. We'll see how it goes. I have set the oven on 400 degrees to preheat so that when I put these in here, it will be nice and hot and they can immediately go ahead and start cooking. Okay guys, now I put quite a bit of salt and pepper in these, or else I would be sprinkling some more on top, but I think I've got enough in there. But we can always come back and put more on there if we decide that we need to when we taste them later. So into the oven they go. Okay, so to go along with our potato pancakes, I'm just going to kind of continue this theme of a really quick dinner tonight. So I have these canned green beans. These are green beans I actually grew in my own garden. And I'm going to put them in this pan with some dried minced onion and some chopped garlic. And we're also going to put a big old blob of butter in there with it. And if you guys do not have one of these little doodads here, these tools are amazing for opening up canning jars without tearing up your lids. You see how that popped that open just so quick and easy? I'll put a link to this down in my video on my Amazon store so that you guys can check this out if you want to. These lids tend to become very expensive after a while, and so if you are considering canning your own food or you're buying canned food from someone else and you want to save these lids, these little canned food opener things are amazing. Okay, so I'm going to drain some of the liquid out of this. Because I want these to be nice and just buttery. I'm going to dump these in here. We're going to go with some pepper. And some salt. And we're just going to go kind of simmer these on the stove until our potato pancakes come out. So here we are, guys. These are how the potato pancakes came out. When I put these in the oven, what I did was I used a 1/4 cup of the potato mixture and flattened it out. and I cooked them at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. And then at the very end, I went ahead and just flipped the broiler on for a couple minutes to get the tops nice and crispy because I really didn't want to have to flip them. They did stick in the pan a little bit, so I think that next time I do these in the oven like this, I'm going to use some parchment paper on the bottom just to keep them from sticking. And then I've got my green beans here, and then I have a homemade ranch dressing for the dipping sauce. And this whole meal really pretty much cost much of nothing. These were all leftovers. These were green beans that I canned out of my garden. I used my homemade mayonnaise to do my ranch dressing. So really this whole meal just cost very little money, and it was a really good way to stretch our budget here on the homestead. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go eat.